Hello, Derby friends, and welcome to What the IGRF, roller derby footage analysis for skaters, officials, announcers, and fans. There is a huge request in the roller derby community to do footage review as a way to learn the game, see it in motion beyond practice time, and also use it as a training resource for developing skaters and officials. If skaters understand how to watch footage, you can get really good intel on an opposing league or be able to analyze your own gameplay and skating skills to see where you've grown and identify opportunities for future growth. As an official, adding footage links to your officiating history document, OHD, or your Derby CV, is a great way to advocate for yourself and your own development as you apply for games and tournaments, especially ones beyond your region. When you're new to Derby, either as a skater or an official, you'll often get suggestions of watching footage in order to learn the game faster. But there is a difference between learning the sport as a new player or official and being able to understand high-level Derby game flow and strategy. Together, we'll be able to slow things down and zero in on what the skaters are doing on the track and what the officials are doing within and around the track to ensure safety and efficient game flow for everyone at the venue. Footage review sessions often require somebody to plan the event, host it, get all of the tech involved to play and analyze footage, and also carve out more precious time away from Derby and other non-Derby life things. As Derby returned from the great hiatus of 2020 and 2021, a lot of leagues have learned how to do their own in-house live streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So the last few seasons have produced a lot of good quality footage, not just of the players on the track, but also zooming out so you can see what the officials are doing as well. Having good announcers that can understand both what the players and the officials are doing and how they're collaborating on the track to facilitate roller derby, it can make the difference between a decent stream and quality stream. For this first season of What the IGRF, I'm going to be doing the 2024 WFTDA Global Champs playlist, since it has very consistent recording style across all 16 games, and it features many of the best teams, skaters, officials, and announcers in the world, folks that are really at the top of their game in many respects. In order to achieve my vision of how to do this effectively and with as little friction as possible for everybody, especially myself, and to address some of these issues of why footage review isn't really happening en masse at an efficient scale yet, I've been learning a lot about OBS, and I'm going to be using some clever telestration techniques to highlight action that we see on the screen, whether it's footage, rules documents, or visual aids. I've identified 3 different levels that we can dig into as we watch footage together, and each level has specific things to focus on that will build a stronger foundation as you watch, play, experience more Derby. And you can absolutely be enmeshed in the Derby community off skates as a non-skating official. We need all of these folks to run our scoreboard, keep score, jam time, penalty box timing. All of that data is collected and combined after a sanctioned game for the Interleague Game Reporting Form, or IGRF. See what I did there? Level 1 is you are new to Derby. Welcome. We're so excited you're here. You're learning how to skate, how to play, how to officiate, how to win a game of Derby. Level 1 is for new skaters, new fans, new officials, or anybody who loves someone who plays Derby. You are learning what the heck's going on the track, how to play this game, and ultimately how to win a game of Derby. You're also still learning how to skate safely if you're participating on skates as a player or an official. Skaters are learning, both on their own and as a team, how to participate in Derby safely, learning different strategies, and officials are learning how to safely and efficiently facilitate gameplay for everybody. Next level is learning roller derby. Whether you are a player, a coach, an official, an announcer, or a deepening fan, Level 2 is for those who are currently involved in the sport somehow, either as a skater, a coach, an official, or a volunteer. We'll be getting more into the lingo of the sport, as well as team strategy and how to analyze gameplay. You probably have a few seasons of game experience under your belt, and announcers are better able to communicate what they're seeing and effectively translate that action for the audience, whether it's in person or over a live stream. And finally, level 3, you are officiating derby. Level 3 is looking deeper into the hidden, invisible layers of what the officials are doing to facilitate safe, fair, and efficient gameplay. You may also be an experienced skater that's transitioning into an officiating role, or just looking for more time on skates to develop crucial officiating skills. At this level, you're learning how to communicate better with your crews of skating and non-skating officials, and trying to fine-tune your positioning and skating skills to really fit specific roles within officiating crews. You're also deepening your understanding about pack definition and penalties, what you are and are not allowed to do during gameplay. By providing information on these 3 different levels, I'm hoping that these footage analysis videos can serve as many people within and beyond the roller derby sphere. To share a little bit about myself and my background, my name is AdrenaLyn and I skate for River City Roller Derby in Richmond, Virginia. I'm also a founding member of the Virginia Roller Derby Network, and if you'd like to learn more about both of these organizations, you can find more details about these 501c3s in the description below. I've been doing roller derby for the last 11 years, starting in 2014 from absolute scratch and moving into a new skaters or rookie coaching role in 2017. There was a little something in 2020 and 2021 that prevented us from playing our sport, but when we came back in 2022, I was president of the league and we basically did triage all season. Who do we still have? What resources do we still have? How can we get back to derby after 2 long, sad years away? And in 2023, I stepped up to be the league's head referee. So for the last 3 seasons, I've been pushing myself to learn more about the officiating layer of roller derby and bringing back my experience and knowledge to my own league and other leagues across the state. If you are new to watching roller derby footage or could use a refresher, here is a quick primer on specific things that we'll be seeing as we watch footage together. Who is doing what in, on, or around the track, and what information is being displayed and updated as the game progresses. Before we get started with footage in motion, let's take a second to identify who all of these people are and what their general responsibilities are on game day. So here's a bird's eye view of what you'll be seeing in person or on stream when you're watching a roller derby game. Let's first start with who is on the track, our players down here. Each team is going to have 5 members on the track at a time. So at most, there's going to be 10 skaters taking the track. These 2 skaters here are the jammers. For this demo jam, white team is Gotham and the black team is Jacksonville. Jammers are wearing a star helmet cover, and they are essentially the ball in the sport of derby. They are the ones that score points for their team. There are 4 blockers from each team that are on the track, and you'll notice that there are 2 skaters that have stripes on their helmets. These are pivots. They are blockers that have some extra special capabilities, which we will get into later. But for simple explanation, we've got 8 blockers on the track and 2 jammers for a total of 10 skaters. Zooming out, let's take a look at all of these officials that are helping make derby happen. We'll start down here on the bottom of the screen. These are our benches. Jacksonville bench here, Gotham bench behind my face. And in between benches is the penalty box. When skaters are assessed a penalty, they report to the box. They take a seat, and then these folks time their penalties 30 seconds per pop. Some other non-skating officials we have are the jam timer over here, equipped with a whistle and some stopwatches. This person helps facilitate game flow by monitoring the jam and period clock. These folks in the center are penalty trackers and lineup trackers. At Champs, they are using tablets, so all of the information that gets displayed on the scoreboard is updated live. Otherwise, you're using paper and pencil and a clipboard. These folks help catch the penalties that officials are assessing to skaters, and they're also making note of who is out on the track during a specific jam. For instance, we've got black 235, we've got white 4 over here. It provides a snapshot of who was in that specific jam, who got penalties, who was the jammer, who was the pivot. Oftentimes, you'll also have a wrangler, penalty wrangler, just to be an extra set of eyes and ears, because it can get chaotic in there. So if we pretend we've got a scoreboard over here, we'll have the scoreboard operator mastering the keys and updating everything on the scoreboard, flanked on either side by 2 scorekeepers. They work in concert with the skating officials to track the score. Let's move our scoreboard table over yonder. And that covers non-skating officials. Now shifting over to our skating officials, a full skating official crew of referees is 7. There are 7 refs doing their thing on game day. So since we just talked about the scoreboard and the scorekeepers, these 2 referees here and here are our jammer referees, jam refs. Each jam ref watches just the jammer for one team for one half. White wristband showing that they are the white team's jam ref. This jam ref is only watching Gotham's jammers for this period, period 1. So this jam ref over here is only watching Jacksonville black team's jammers for this period. At the half, they switch teams so that we can help ensure fairness and impartiality for both teams' jammers. Likewise, each jam ref is paired up with a scorekeeper. So for the entire game, this scorekeeper and this jam ref are going to be working together to figure out which jammer is lead, if there are any star passes, how many points people get. Our jam refs and our scorekeepers work together to collect all of that information. You're going to see these 2 refs really taking some fast laps around the infield of the track. They are tracking jammers, counting points, assessing penalties, and trying not to crash into everybody. On the outside, we have OPRs, outside pack refs. If I scrub forward, there we go. There's our 3rd one. Since the OPRs are in this outer ref lane, this 10-foot lane that encircles the track, they have a lot more track to skate, physics, all that good stuff. So we need 3 people to watch the back of the pack, the middle of the pack, and out in front to make sure that everybody is doing things legally. OPRs are mainly looking at contact between skaters, which includes the jammer, but they have a sort of pulled back perspective to look at action that's happening throughout the jam. Ooh, here you can see our jam refs are in really good position, tracking their jammer, staying in line, trying to see what's happening. And outside pack refs help provide extra information about what's going on with the jammer and helping assess or telephone penalties across a noisy track. OPRs have 3 positions. We've got rear OPR, middle OPR, and front OPR. And our final 2 refs are inside pack refs, IPRs. There is a front IPR and a rear IPR. The rear IPR is usually the head ref for the game, and likewise there is a head NSO. These two folks work together as the sort of game day leadership or managers to help, again, facilitate game flow efficiently and safety across the board. All of these officials together help track points by watching the jammers and reporting, displaying the score. They're also watching contact that's happening and positioning where skaters are on the track. And if anybody gets a penalty, they're going to the box to get timed on that penalty. Folks are going to write that data down. And we've got jam timer that is helping literally keep things moving. Next, let's take a look at information that's displayed on a live stream. All of this information is what the scoreboard operator is collecting, verifying, and displaying for everybody to see. Up here, we've got the period clock, which counts down from 30 minutes, and the jam clock, which counts down from 2 minutes. In between jams, the jam clock portion turns into a lineup of 30 seconds. Obviously, we've got teams on this side. The big numbers are the total score as it accumulates over the game. And then the tiny zeros show how many points are scored in that jam. These little dots show how many timeouts that the teams have. And the white dot is an official review. We'll get more into what official reviews are later in the series, but it's a way for teams to respectfully request that the officials review a call or a no call that was made in the previous jam and asking for some kind of changed outcome, whether a penalty is rescinded or a penalty is issued or points are changed. Then we have all the rest of the information that these penalty lineup trackers are providing in real time with those tablets so that the scoreboard can immediately be updated with who's out on the track and what role they have. So names here are the jammers: Switchcraft, white jammer, Leanne Grohl, black jammer, and the rest of these numbers are skaters on their team. If any of these skaters get a penalty during the jam, their box will change color, and then a penalty code will show up, whether it's an X for a track cut, P for an illegal position. You get the idea. If you are watching a game of Derby in person, then the scoreboard is going to look a little something like this. Still got our teams up at the top here, our overall score, how many points were scored in that jam. These are the timeouts, our official review, and the clocks for period clock, 30 minutes, and the jam clock, counting down from 2 minutes, showing which jam that we're in. And in between jams, when everybody's lining up, this is going to change into a lineup timer, which is 30 seconds. The general flow of these episodes is letting the jam play out in its entirety with a little bit of color commentary over top, and then scrubbing the footage back to highlight key things that the skaters are doing strategy-wise and what the officials are doing penalty, positioning, pack definition-wise to facilitate the game. Thanks so much for tuning in to What the IGRF. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.